Hello YouTube, this is Robert Ness 816 and I'm coming at you with another video. This time we're comparing two classic Casios that have been out for well over 20 years. We have the Casio W93H over here on the left, and then we have the Casio DW5600E on the right. The 5600E came out in 1997 and the W93H came out, I believe, in 1998. So they've been around for roughly the same amount of time. I believe both watches have had updated modules at some point. Both of them are able to go up to the year 2099 in their automatic calendars. Both watches are kind of give or take in features. So, for example, the W93H has a dual time feature and the G-Shock does not. The W93H has a very basic alarm which does not allow you to set the alarm for a particular day of the month or a particular month. Basically, it's just a basic repeating alarm. The Casio has a more advanced alarm where you can pretty much change the alarm for any type of month or day that you want, as well as having a basic repeating alarm. And then both watches will have a stopwatch with a split feature. Both watches will have a timer, I believe, with an auto feature on it too. The W93H has a little trick up its sleeve though with the backlight, where you can actually hold down the split button and that light will come on, and you can see it says auto light switch. So basically what that means is every time you tilt the watch toward you like that, the backlight will turn on, and it actually works really well on this particular watch. Pretty neat. So there's two ways that you can access it too, or you can just kind of push the light button and your backlight will turn on. The G-Shock just has a basic electroluminescent backlight. Oops, I pushed the right button. So there you go. It does have something different though. If you hold in this button here, you have a flash alert button. So every time the hourly chime goes off, excuse me, this backlight will basically flash along with the buzzer. Same thing when you're done with your countdown timer or whatever too, it will flash along with that. I don't like using that feature because it basically kills the battery quickly in a watch. As far as the battery life goes in both of these watches too, they're both rated at, I believe, 3 years. However, this G-Shock is 7 years old. It still has the original battery on it, so pretty much I think Casio assumes that if you use the features quite often, you will get a 2-year or 3-year battery life out of these watches. So take their battery life with a grain of salt, basically. I know that if you use the backlight or the stopwatch often, it will kill the batteries in these pretty quickly. So as far as the durability goes, that's a big difference between them. So this watch at one point was $12, and it is now $24, but still, given the prices of everything else, this is still an excellent value proposition because the F91W is currently, I believe, $15 or $16, and then the W105 is $24 about. So the same price as this one, but with less features. This watch, when it first came out, was, I believe, $48, and then the price dipped to $35 for the longest time, and now it's up to $60 almost. So pretty expensive now for what it is. And for comparison, the original DW5600C sold for $60 when it was new. So we're basically reaching the price point that the 5600C sold for back in the day. And the 5600C had a completely metal construction. The module wasn't as good, even though it has dual time on it too, which is, I just skipped over it. Even though it has dual time over it too, which the current G-Shock does not have, the 5600. So basically Casio kind of took away some features, but at the same time they gave you some more features like the EL backlight and the flash alert, but I don't know, for the most part though, it still is a good watch and it's just as durable. So getting back to these two though, as far as the durability between them, this watch will take much more abuse because it's meant to be dropped and abused and things like that. This watch, on the other hand, it can take a couple bumps and things like that, but it's not going to survive. And the same thing goes for like an F91W or F105 or whatever those watches are called. Those little cheap squares that are the same price as this one now. So, they're just not built for durability. They're built to be basically something small, something practical that you can wear, and that's pretty much it. It's a slightly more advanced basic watch, but it is a very good watch in that regards. So even though that this watch doesn't have some of the features that the W93H has, this one still has a mineral crystal display which can be scratched and everything, but it's just much harder to scratch. You can take this one as an example. That is a welding spatter that is on the display of this one here, the crystal. That's actually chunks of metal that have melted into the glass from welding. So just something to look out for. So yeah, the crystal, even though it is more durable, it's still not impenetrable to damage. But this one being plastic, it is a pretty easy crystal to damage. However, it's very easy to polish out those scratches. If you get like Polywatch or even like New Finish, for example, which is like a car wax, like a wax polish, you can use that on it and that will polish out any marks in the crystal here. So 50 meters of water resistance, so basically good for swimming and washing your hands. 200 meters of water resistance on this watch, so good for, I guess, moderate diving, swimming, washing your hands, doing whatever. So pretty robust design. The bezel, the strap here is thicker. It's slightly stiffer, but as you can see, it's just a little bit thicker. But it's also a little bit stiffer. However, when you wear these watches, you really don't even know that there's anything on your wrist. And that is an advantage, I think, that they have over the originals. When you wear this, you know you're wearing it because it's pretty heavy. This one, on the other hand, has some weight to it, but it's still a much lighter weight watch. This one is like wearing nothing pretty much. So definitely a nice watch to wear if you don't want to have that feeling that you're wearing anything on your wrist. So we can get into the back here. You can see it has 4 screws holding on the back plate. Same thing with this one right here. So very easy to change your batteries on it. No risk of pinching the gasket either with these. That's an advantage that these back plates have over the screw backs. These, if you don't know enough to grease the gasket, you will actually cause the gasket to bind up as you're screwing down the back plate. So something to look out for. So pretty much it. So I'll just kind of go through the features here. One other cool feature too before I forget. This watch has the ability to go up and down when you make adjustments. So you can see I can go forwards and backwards. And that's something that you can't do with the G-Shock, unfortunately. This watch you can only scroll forwards. All basic G-Shocks are like that, so I don't know why Casio doesn't update these modules for that, but it's just how they are. So yeah, I'll just go through the modes on this watch. So there's your timer, stopwatch, there's your alarm, and I like how this one has the time still present up top here with the seconds. And then there's your dual time. So this works by basically setting the time here, and you'll have your regular time up there. So if you're in a different time zone, you can look at them both at a glance. And then here's the functions on the G-Shock. So there's your alarm, and you can set the month and day on this alarm, which you cannot do on the other watch. There's your countdown timer, stopwatch, and that's it. So thanks for watching, guys, and let me know what you think.